I just love this mod because I've always wanted, and I'm pretty sure we all wanted, to make roller coasters in Minecraft using the normal minecarts, and now we just have a more advanced, more realistic version of that added with this mod. Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Damien and welcome back to another Minecraft mod review. Today we're checking out the Rollercoaster mod. This mod allows you to build awesome, custom, and realistic roller coasters in Minecraft, much like this one. As you guys can see, this looks freaking awesome. You can also paint them, decorate them, and kind of make them really fun. So definitely a pretty cool mod, guys. So let's see if you can take 1 second to smack the like button. Let's aim for 40+ likes on this video. I definitely do appreciate your support. Also remember to comment down below and tell me which mod you want to see me review next, and I'll use that comment in my next video. Anyways, first things first, let's take a look at my roller coaster. As you can see, it's painted gray and orange. It has this awesome kind of queue-in line, as well as it has just this awesome loop-de-loop, and it has that the heart line or something. I forgot what it's called, but that looks freaking awesome. It has 2 of those, as well as it has this like awesome kind of like color and awesome look, and also there's one that's wooden and just it's just so freaking awesome. I just love this mod because I've always wanted, and I'm pretty sure we all wanted, to make roller coasters in Minecraft using the normal minecarts, and now we just have a more advanced, more realistic version of that added with this mod. So enough of that. You guys saw my awesome roller coaster. We'll ride that in just a second, but let's go ahead and take a look at how or what this mod includes. So first things first, we have the tracks. Now the first track we have is just called a track, and it's a basic track, and it's basically just this one line. Now in order to kind of manipulate these tracks and make them kind of custom, you'll need something called the track maintenance tool, which is basically a rotating tool, or you use this to rotate other items. So basically to craft this, you'll just need 1 stick and 1 iron ingot. It lasts pretty much infinitely, and when you right click, it basically just rotates that block, and this works for pretty much all the items that are added with this mod, including the decorations as well as the tracks. So our next track we have here is called a slope up track. Now as you can see, it basically goes from the ground regular track to up, and then using the next track here we have is called the slope track. You could send it even higher, and then once you get to the top, you could use the slope down track to kind of flatten it down again, and then you could use the normal track to kind of let it continue. So if you guys get that, basically you see the pattern going on here. You start at the bottom, you go up here, you go up the slope, and then once you get to the top, you just go back to a normal track. And another track we have here is called the curved track, and the curved track is basically technically not curved because it is Minecraft and you can't really curve too many things here, but it's just a track that allows you to turn corners and just manipulate the track into different directions. The next track we have here is the loop track, and this is basically the loop-de-loop, and you just go up and like over in a circle, as you can see, and that's just freaking awesome. Now the last track we have here is the hardline roll track, which is the one I was trying to say at the beginning, and this track is just awesome. Look at this, you kind of look straight down and it's just freaking awesome. This is just great. So these are the basic tracks that are added with this mod. You could definitely manipulate them and use them to make any track or roller coaster that you do like by combining them and coloring them and doing a lot of cool things. And that's basically the track that I made using this. So another cool addition to this mod is that you have different decorations, those including the iron railings. The iron railings are basically fences, but they're kind of called something else because of the decorations for the roller coaster. So here are the iron railings. Next we have the picket fence, which is basically a whitewash version of the iron railings. We also have the queuing fence. Yet again, you can rotate these guys by using the maintenance tool. So if I go ahead and right click this, you can see I can rotate my queuing fence or my queue fencing. And the next one we have is the corner fencing, which basically is the corner of the queue fencing. Next we have the triangle fence, which basically it says what it is, and you guys can see it right here. This one is the square fencing, and the last one here we have is the gate, which is powered by redstone. You cannot actually walk through it at the moment, so I'm not really sure what's the point of this besides cosmetic looks. Of course it's decoration, so I guess that's the reason. Now the last thing we have here for this mod, well not really for this mod, but for the blocks in this mod, we have the different paths. And you could use this to kind of decorate the area. So here we have the asphalt path, we have the dusty, the parchment, the leafy, the oak wood, the spruce wood, the birch, the jungle wood, and the quartz. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is basically what you use in order to place at the queuing line for your customers to kind of walk on. So in addition to all that cool stuff, of course, whoa, I kind of spun around there, but the crafting recipes of course will be located in the forums page if you guys want to check that out. I'm not showing you guys that just for the sake of saving some time and showing you guys the key important facts about this mod. But anyways, you guys can always install none of items and press R to see the following crafting recipes. So some other cool items in this mod is of course the paint buckets as well as the paint brushes. There's no real use for the paint buckets at the moment in this mod, but the paint brushes basically allows you to paint the tracks and the fences and queuing decorations different colors. So as you can see here, you have loads of them in your tab here for the roller coaster tools. In order to craft this, you basically use the paint bucket, which is actually used as a crafting recipe, with the paint brush, which is crafted using the wool and the stick. So you basically combine the paint bucket with the wool and the stick in order to make your colored paintbrush. So it's definitely pretty cool. I did say there's no use for the paint bucket, but I guess it's just a crafting recipe tool. So as you can see here, I have the red paintbrush as well as various different colors. So if you go ahead and just walk on over to our queue fencing and we just right click, you can see that it paints it different colors. So you could of course paint over it. You don't need to kind of worry about painting it only once. You can kind of repaint it if you like. So here's a white brush or a light gray one, and you can use the white brush to kind of like sort of erase it, but if you want, you could just use it to reset the color to white. So here's the purple one, and here's the cyanide one, which actually looks pretty dang cool. But I chose to build my one or paint my roller coaster out of orange and gray because I think it just looks pretty cool. And this one here, the wooden one, as you guys can see there, it's actually painted brown because the tracks itself cannot be wooden, so I just decided to make it brown to match the actual wooden support beams. So that's basically a painting and the blocks that are available in this mod. Of course, it's very simple. Once you get the hang of it, you can just make your roller coaster, and you can actually make a theme park using this. So let's go ahead and talk about some other things available in this mod, such as the miscellaneous items that include the entry ticket, the annual pass, and the rider's operator key. So this could basically be used for role playing. Say for instance you are the operator of this lovely roller coaster and you're able to place down carts and stuff. You would just have the rider's key in order to or the operator's key in order to kind of maintain this if you're on a server. Annual pass will allow you to ride as many times as you want, I guess, and the entry ticket will just be, or allow you just to ride once if you're kind of role playing on a server. Some other cool things in this mod is the track designer. We also have the track fabricator as well as the storage and the support footer, and as well as the track train. So we'll get into that in just a second. I'm kind of trying to gather my thoughts here. We also have the steel support, and the wooden support, which is the beams located under the track. So I'm not sure why there's a little bit of mouse acceleration going on here. But anyways, the track designer basically allows you, once you right click on it, and you can craft it, there's actually no crafting recipe for that, I thought there were. But if you go ahead and right click this, you can see there's like a crane like kind of design on the block. If you right click it, you enter this thing called the track designer. At the moment it's not implemented yet into the mod itself, but you can use the camera aspect of the particular item or tool in order to kind of view your track and view your world. So as you can see in the track designer, the whole idea is to basically use this tool or block in order to place down tracks and place different decorations around. So basically, to use this, it basically shows you the control on your screen. You use WASD to move around. You use your Q and E to rotate left and right. You hold down Shift, press W to rotate up, Shift and S to rotate down, page up and down in order to move your camera between different altitudes. So this is pretty much a good idea. Here we go. If I travel back to myself, you can see that I'm looking into this actual block. So it gives you a third person point of view, like a spectator mode or a camera mode, to kind of go around and place tracks in kind of hard to reach places, or if you just want to take screenshots or things like that in order to see your track or design your track from a different point of view. So that's definitely pretty cool. At the moment we have a place button here at the top. Not sure what that does, but if you go ahead and hit the place button and you kind of click on the ground, it sort of kind of places down the asphalt path. I'm not sure why, but that's pretty cool. I don't think you could cycle between the things you want to place, but you could definitely place that down. So this is coming from version 1.5, which is the version of the mod, not of Minecraft. Just one thing to mention. Alright, so moving on, we have the track fabricator, and the track fabricator allows you to craft the tracks. Now I did mention there's crafting recipes for the decorations, but there's no crafting recipes for the tracks, and the reason for that being is that, well, you have this thing called a track fabricator. In order to kind of use this, you need to place iron ingots, and each track here it says costs 3 iron ingots per 3 tracks. So just 1 iron ingot will create 1 track. In order to kind of create more tracks, or kind of like craft them and choose different tracks, you need to place a track down in here as well. So you need to craft the basic track, and once you have that, let's go ahead and just demonstrate this instead of talking hypothetically, let's grab some iron ingots. Let's see if I could locate this. Let's go ahead and just do that. If you grab some iron ingots over here and we kind of craft some of our tracks here, you can see that now we have some tracks in this area here. So now we could use this in order to kind of make the slope up track. So as you can see, basically your input is the iron ingots. You choose how much you want using the plus and minus here, and then you click craft in order to craft that particular track. So you can cycle between all of them. Of course, we have the curved track here, which takes 9. Oh my gosh, the loop track takes 30 per 10 tracks. So that's freaking insane. Let's go ahead and craft that. As you can see, I only got 3 of those loop tracks, and it just ate up all of my iron ingots. So that's definitely going to be very expensive in order to craft these tracks, but it's definitely going to be worth it because it's a lot better than using the normal railways in Minecraft. Alright, so that's basically how you do that, and you just right click to place it down, and of course you used your hammer or the maintenance tool to rotate it. So let's go ahead and just do that. There we go. So that's definitely pretty cool. Alright, so moving on, we have the track storage, which basically allows you to store your tracks. Nothing else can be placed in this, so if I go ahead and try to place iron ingot, it definitely would not work, but if I go ahead and just kind of put the tracks in there, as you can see, it works. So it's just one thing to mention is that this can only store tracks. So I guess you could use this yet again for role playing. I'm not too sure why you wouldn't just use a chest, considering that, let's see what the crafting recipe, there's no crafting recipe for this, but I assume, okay, there we go, that's actually a crafting recipe. So you'd use a track along with 8 iron ingots. So I'm not really too sure why you would want to use this, which only stores track, against your normal Minecraft chest. That really doesn't make any sense. It's gonna be extra storage or anything like that. But anyways, moving on, let's see what we have here. We have the support footer, the support, the wooden support, and the steel support. So this is basically different type of support beams, and it really only depends on this type of style you want to make your roller coaster in. So as you can see, I made or implemented both of these support beams in my track, and of course, yet again, you can rotate this using the track maintenance tool. So as you can see, I can rotate it to kind of fit my needs. Of course, this one's symmetrical on all sides, so it doesn't really matter if you rotate or not, it's just going to be the same. So the support footer is basically what you will need in order to kind of use your steel support with. So as you can see, if I place the steel support above the track footer, it kind of combines and make this awesome kind of pillar. So this is definitely something you want to implement using the steel support with the actual footer, because it just makes it look a whole lot better. Now you cannot unfortunately use the footer with the wooden support because that just does not work, as you can see. So that's just one thing to mention if you guys want to choose different styles and kind of customize your roller coaster to your needs. So one cool thing to mention is that when using your steel support, you can of course make it any height you want. Eventually or randomly, they do make these kind of edgings here, or extrusions, I guess you would call them, from the pillars depending on how high they go, as well as they do randomly connect, which is what I like. Definitely one cool feature is that one thing like you would think is that they would just go up here and stop because of course the block limit stops here, but no, it actually automatically connects to the track that's kind of slanted. So that's definitely pretty cool. It would just look weird if it didn't have that one gray part there connecting to the actual pillar, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, as you can tell, it just looks freaking awesome. And here is the wooden one here, and the wooden one, like I mentioned, is basically like this. It doesn't really look too good up close, but you can rotate it to have like the slanted part showing in this direction, of course, as well as I painted the particular track here brown in order to kind of blend into that a lot more and have that wooden feel. So it's basically the 2 different support beams, and of course we've seen our roller coaster itself. So I turned off the shaders because it's getting a bit laggy, but anyways, one other thing to mention is that there's a bug when trying to color these pillars, because you could color pillars like normal using your normal paintbrush. Let's go ahead and grab a paintbrush and demonstrate that. So if I want to color the pillar, I just basically just right click on it, just like the normal rails. As you can see, looks very cool. Of course, you need to color both of these rails the same in order to kind of have them blend together. But anyways, one thing to mention is that you absolutely do not color the bottom rail of the support beam, because it will crash your game. And when it crashes your game, it doesn't really ruin your game at all, but it just makes it very, very annoying. So it has to stay white for the moment, but hopefully the mod creator will update this in the future, or we can use the white color and blend it in with something else, maybe make a white and red roller coaster. So if you guys are wondering why the bottom was white in all of these, it's mainly because I cannot color them in, because it does crash the game when that happens. So as you can see here, I have some other taller pillars that have different extrusions on them that looks quite nice. So anyways, moving on, we have different track modifications, those including the friction brakes, as well as the chain, the friction wheels, the station, and the launch mechanism. So launch mechanism, basically kind of pushes the cart forward and kind of gives it additional speed. The chain is placed on the slopes, and this basically does the same thing as the launch pad, except it shoots them kind of up. It's basically a launch pad for slopes, and the friction wheels basically slows them down, and the friction brakes kind of almost completely stop them. So the friction wheels are just there to kind of slow them down, and the brakes are there to, of course, bring them to a halt. And you would just place this down onto your track by simply just right clicking. So if you go ahead and just break this track here, there we go, and have an empty track and just kind of paint this blue so you can see it better. And we just right click using the chain. You can see that it basically places down the chain onto the track, so you don't need to place this on the slope. You could place this anywhere you would like, but it's more common to use this on the slopes here. So as you can see, if I go ahead and just right click, you can see that it places it onto the slopes, so it's to give it an extra boost when it's going up the slope, and just increase the fun of your roller coaster. So the next thing we have, of course, is the launch mechanism, which basically when you right click, it replaces the other modification, and like I mentioned, this is basically gives it a boost, and that's how you place it onto there. So the next one we have is the friction brakes, and again, when you kind of place it down, it replaces that previous modification. This brings you to a stop. The friction wheels kind of slows you down, and the station is what you need in order to place down the actual cart. So this is what you'll need in order to place down this item, which is called the roller coaster train. And the roller coaster train is basically crafted by using the track along with iron ingots, and then once you have that, you can basically place it down at your station, but you cannot place it anywhere else on your track besides the station itself. So as you can see, once I place it down, it starts beginning to roll immediately, and for some reason mine gets stuck over here, so unfortunately I cannot ride the entire roller coaster because there are a few bugs. This is a work in progress mod, but one thing I do want to mention is that you cannot actually go in the loop, as well as you cannot go on the hard line or whatever you call this, because it's not yet implemented. You cannot ride the track properly because there's a ton of glitches and things stopping you from riding the roller coaster. But let's go ahead and just ride as much as we can. If you go ahead and just get into our queuing line, which is basically some of the decoration blocks, yet again with the gate, yet again. That does not work because when you use the pressure plate, of course, you cannot go through that block. It's just for decoration purposes. But if you go ahead and just fly over here, place it down onto our rails, and then right click, you can see that once we hit the launch pad, we'll get launched to this area. Of course, we cannot go beyond this point because it just glitches out right there, as well as when it goes down here, it glitches right here. And then when it gets over here, you cannot ride the actual course. And then once it gets over here, you cannot ride there. So I can't really show you the full extent of the roller coaster ride. Unfortunately, that's the case. But hopefully in the future, we'll be updated and we can, of course, come back and ride this awesome roller coaster. So guys, I think it wraps up today's mod spotlight. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Take one second to drop a like or a comment down below. If you guys want to see more of my mod spotlights, click on the videos on your screen or go down to the playlist link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to see all my latest videos on your subscription feed. This was Team Twist, and I'll see you later.